So you're out looking for a house to buy, and whether by choice or by happenstance, you've come across a bank repossession and you want to buy it. What is it you need to know about buying a bank repossession? In 2 words, a lot. Because Toto, you're not in Kansas anymore, and buying a bank repossession is nothing like buying a regular home and or however you purchased your previous home. Hi, my name's Rich Simonon, and thanks for tuning in to another one of our videos where we try and give you the real world on what's happening in real estate with questions directly from our clients. And this one happens to be on how to buy a bank repossession. I am the owner and manager of the largest independent real estate company in Riverside, California since 1985, and our agents live and breathe this every day. So we try to give you some information here that we hope is helpful. There's no books or tapes to buy. We're not selling anything. We're just trying to give you information. And today, I'm going to talk about what you need to know as a buyer on a bank repossession. So let's jump in. First thing, let's start with financing. The first thing you need to understand is that with a bank, and I'm going to use the term REO and repo interchangeably. It's like couch and sofa, so don't get confused. They're one and the same. You have to understand that the asset managers who represent the banks and generally make the decisions on whether offers get accepted or not, they have a pecking order for financing that they look for. And their pecking order from best to worst, in their opinion, is cash, then conventional loans, FHA loans, and VA loans. So let's talk about that. Cash means a lot to an asset manager. It means they don't have any appraisal issues. It means they don't have any qualifying issues. They love cash because understand something, in this whole process, REO asset managers, all they care about is how quickly can we close this escrow and how much money can I make for the bank. Bottom line. They don't care about you. They don't care about the fact that you love the neighborhood. They don't care about the fact that your kids want to grow up here. They don't care about any of that. Bottom line is how quickly can we close it, how much money are we going to make. That's why cash is a nice thing for them. But if you're like most people, like me and everybody else, you're going to buy a home, you're not going to be able to pay all cash. You're going to have some kind of financing on it. So that leaves us with the next 3 alternatives, which is conventional, FHA, and VA in that order. Why is there a difference? It has to do with the appraisal process. On a conventional loan, the appraisal process is not nearly as stringent or as strict as it is on an FHA or a VA appraisal. On a conventional loan, they don't care if there's a leaky this or a crack that or a missing piece of tile here or a loose doorknob or whatever it is. They come out, they appraise the home, they figure you're a big boy and girl, you've seen the warts that the home has, you accept it. As long as the home is worth what it is you're paying for it, they're fine. No harm, no foul, and off you go. But with an FHA and a VA appraisal, since those are government programs and those loans are either insured or guaranteed by the government has a much stricter code by which the appraisers need to operate. Which means then, one of our sort of inside jokes in the industry is, sometimes a VA or an FHA appraisal, they want the house rebuilt. It gets crazy. So your typical bank REO that can be a bit of a mess to begin with because it's been vandalized or the sellers beat it up on the way out or whatever the deal is, a typical REO home, the asset manager knows if they get involved with an FHA or a VA offer, what's going to happen is this appraisal is going to come back with a 28-page list of work requirements that the bank's going to say no to, and the whole thing's going to blow up. So generally speaking, they just don't accept them in the beginning. Now understand, when I say things like that, I'm talking about in our area where most of our bank REOs have multiple offers because they're already well priced. Obviously, if you're dealing with a property that's been on the market for 60 days and there's been no offers, then the bank may be more lenient. But I'm talking about the generalities of our area. So be aware. It doesn't mean you can't buy a home FHA or VA, but understand that if you're going to buy a bank repo, you're a little bit lower on the pecking order on that. Which means then, if you are going FHA or VA on your financing, make sure at least that the home is going to qualify, meaning that it's not one of the REOs that's completely trashed. It's one in which things are in pretty good shape. Maybe the bank fixed it up, although not too many of them do that anymore. But maybe it's just in good shape so that the appraiser, when they go out there, won't have to have the home rebuilt. It's fine the way it is. Just make sure. But if you're an FHA or VA buyer, don't be looking at these beat up properties. It's never going to happen. The asset manager won't take the offer, and even if they do, it's going to get blown out by the appraiser. The other thing you need to understand is you need to understand the term cross-qualifying. And by that, here's what we mean. You're getting ready to buy a home and you have the lender in mind that you're going to use. Could be your brother-in-law, could be somebody recommended by your agent, who knows. Bottom line is, you've generally got your lender in mind before you get to this process. Well, let's assume that this bank repossession is owned by, pick a bank, by Citibank. Citibank is going to want you qualified by a Citibank representative. Why? You don't have to get the loan through them, but they do want you qualified by them. Why? Two reasons. Very simple. Number one, they trust their Citibank loan representative better than they trust the guy that you have that they don't know, because they want to make sure you can actually do what it is you say you're going to do. And number two, they want a chance to talk you into using them for the loan. You don't have to, and if you don't use them or if you do use them, it's not going to make any difference to the asset manager because they're two separate worlds. Bottom line is, though, you're going to want to be cross-qualified. So all the paperwork and all the information you've already given to your existing lender, you're going to need to give to the lender's representative of the bank. And if you want to fight that process, fight it all you want, then don't buy an REO, because the bottom line is they're all going to request it. It's a pain in the neck, and it's going to take a little time to get it done, and you're going to be answering the same questions you've already asked, but that's the nature of the beast, and you're just going to have to deal with it if you're going to want to buy a bank REO. The other thing I want to bring up here is the difference between being cross-qualified, the difference between being pre-approved and pre-qualified, because it's huge. Pre-qualified means that in essence you've fogged the mirror. You've gone to a lender and the lender says, yeah, they're pre-qualified to get a loan up to this amount. Now, we haven't verified their employment, we haven't verified their income, we haven't verified the money they have, we haven't checked out what their FICO scores are, and we don't know if their dog is cute or not, but the bottom line is we'll go ahead and make them a loan. That's a pre-qualification, and it's like cotton candy. It looks pretty, but there's not much there. Pre-approved, on the other hand, says the lender has done all of their homework, they've checked all that stuff out, and you are approved to get the loan. All the lender needs in order to make this loan happen is an appraisal on the property when you identify what property you want to buy. You can see how much stronger a pre-approval is than a pre-qualification. Why do I bring this up? Again, in our area, you're going to be dealing with multiple offers, and the asset managers are looking for the strongest buyer. Who's stronger? The guy with the cotton candy pre-qualification or the guy with the pre-approval from the bank ready to rock and roll? You're going to have to do it eventually anyway. We suggest that you get it done now so that you look stronger when you submit your offer. All right, that's financing. Let's talk about submitting the offer, about writing the offer. Your offer needs to be clean, clean, clean. Now, I'm not talking about coffee stains on it, not that kind of clean. I'm talking about clean in which, understand, for the asset manager, it's all about the seller's net. So don't gunk your offer up with a whole bunch of contingencies. Well, it's contingent upon me getting a new job in your area, and it's contingent upon me selling my home, and it's contingent upon my spouse seeing it because they're not in town yet. It's never going to happen. Don't even think about it. Don't go there. They want them clean. Look, I'm ready to buy your home, and here I am. If you need the asset manager, the seller, to pay some of your closing costs, then my guess is you're going to need to have to stack that on top of the price. What I mean by that is, let's assume the list price is $200 and you need the seller to pay $5,000 of your closing costs, you're probably going to have to pay $205 for that property. You're going to need to stack it on top because all they care is about the net. Your $200,000 with them paying $5,000 is the equivalent of a $195,000 offer, and they're going to look for something a little higher or whatever. So understand you might need to stack that if you're going to have the seller pay any costs. The other thing you need to understand is that the listing agent who's representing the bank probably has a list of paperwork that you're going to need to fill out. So given that, they may want your FICO scores, which is a credit score, lets you know the higher the number, the better credit you have. They may want your pre-qualification or your pre-approval letter. They may want your proof of funds. They may want the cross-qual. They have a lot of paperwork that they're insisting that goes in with your offer. Please, please, please give them what they want. If they want 5 other pieces of paper along with your offer, then give them the 5 other pieces of paper. Because if you don't, then what's going to happen is the asset manager is going to look at it and go, where's all the rest of the paperwork I need? Well, the buyer didn't get it in. You either look like a knucklehead, in which case they don't want to work with you, or you look like someone who isn't motivated enough or care enough to follow simple directions, in which case they don't want to work with you. Remember, they are looking for reasons to say no because they're going to have a lot of activity, again, at least in our area. So, there it is, your financing and write a clean offer. Now, this is the end of part 1 of how to purchase a bank REO. Check out part 2 because there's just as much information, but I don't have enough time to get it all in one video. So, thanks for watching, and be sure and check out part 2. There's a whole lot to learn. Thank you. Bye-bye.